Welcome to episode 11. I'm thinking today is going to be refactoring our speedTier system so that it's not a pressing a button and then increasing a speedTier, but rather if a button is held to increase a value that is our speed and our animation. Because last episode we saw that when we touched, when we lightly tapped, like go forward as slow as possible, and it's like a really slow strut compared to what we've got going on. Like that. See that, how slow that is? But the question I have is whether or not tapping, so like I'm going to tap the direction I'm facing as the ostrich as little as possible to try to get that really slow walking animation. And my question is, if I tap that as slow as possible 5 different times, is that our max speed or is it not quite our max speed? Because I'm trying to figure out if they did do something like the speedTier implementation that I currently have. But yeah, I'm thinking it really is just that value that slowly gets higher. So I'm going to tap left as slow as possible. Let me just kill. Wait. Let me just so they're not in the way. Okay. So slow as possible, that should be speedTier 1. Slow as possible again. Slow as possible again. Slow as possible again. Slow as possible again. Yeah. See, so that's not quite 5. So there isn't, in my initial testing or whatever, I kind of just pressed it like a normal holding amount of time, and then I got that, oh, after 5 presses you're at your speed, at your top speed. But that is not the case if you tap it as little as possible. So I think they are doing something like I'm alluding to, which is if the key is down, you ramp up your speed. It's not this tap once, speedTier 1, tap twice, speedTier 2. It's really more of a spectrum than that, which is really interesting. That being said, though, the trickiest thing about this is that I can't do this with the was pressed function. I have to do the is down function because it needs to test for that continuous input. So I can still do the was pressed for the stopping and everything and the skidding. That's fine. But for the incrementing speedTier, that needs to be is down, which still gets triggered on the first frame. So it shouldn't change. It shouldn't change how our code is kind of currently behaving, other than yeah, it shouldn't really change how most of our code is, as long as we, instead of doing this speedTier, we're gonna, well, okay. So we need to figure out there's a couple things we need to figure out. The good news is I've already calculated the amount of time it takes to get to full speed, which, so like the ostrich in the original game, if you hold the direction you're facing, you'll get to full speed in about a second. So right here, so I'm saying, so we see, so like all of our logic for getting to that 1 second top speed tier is based on a value that speedTier 5 is. So we'll need to change all of this. So I guess my question is, what is my speed tier 5? Like, what's my fastest speed in terms of dx? And then we need to figure out on a frame by frame basis what the ramp up is per frame, you know. So if it's going to 0 to, for example, if it's going 0 dx to 60 dx in 1 second, then we need to say, hey, your dx gets +1 for every frame your input is down. I think that's right. So look at here. This is where I'm doing the speed tier. So I guess I got another question, which is our animation for how fast it's being animated tethered to speed tier in any way? Right here is our animation. Yeah, if our speed tier is greater than 0. So if we're walking, which that should be easy. So we can change that to if dx is greater than 0. No. If dx is not equal to 0, I guess we can say. Because that means it's either positive or negative. And grounded. Then animate. So the thing is, how do we have it? Oh, right here. See, so this is the FPS is the rate of which our animation is changing, which is calculated currently based on speed tier, which is a number, you know, or 1 through 5. But when we change, we're gonna, yeah, I think we're gonna get rid of speed tier altogether. I think we're going to get rid of speed tier altogether. That means we would have to figure out the new ratio of animating based on its dx rather than its speed tier, which shouldn't be too hard, but I remember when we were doing that, it was a little tricky, but not like we can't figure it out. So moments like this are good that we have GitHub, because we saved a snapshot of our current project. So now if we go in here and change all this speed tier logic, if we screw everything up beyond fixing, we can always just you know, pull up our old project and then try it again. I guess I'm wanting to see if speedTier is doing anything else important. And then we need to see what this speed 5 is. And that's our max speed for our DX. So whatever value we need to get up to in 1 second, the top value is going to be that speed 5. We can get rid of this frame tracker too, because that was only to count every 1/5 of a frame so that we could increment our speedTier. So that'll probably be gone in its entirety. And then a couple of these things need to be switched from was pressed to is down. And one other thing we need to add is the side collide sound. And then refactor speedTier out. So as well as frame tracker at least. I still don't like how messy this is, but, or like not messy, but just chunky, but whatever. I don't know if the way to do it is to do a function or what. I'm not sure. So, see, where are, do I use this turn timer anywhere? I do. Well, I've just set it equal to 0. I don't really do, oh no, I do here. So what I'm doing here is, okay, I'll need to keep that, I think, because that's what's deciding. That's what's deciding. Wait. So this is saying once I'm stopped, that doesn't seem right. To I mean, I remember adding that for some reason, like I think that's just because left, well, oh, and I'm facing right. Okay. I guess I'll just keep it, because I think it has, I think we ended up doing that because of if you're going right, you're in the air, and then you're landing and your left is held. Yeah. Then if you keep your left held and skid gets set to 0, it needs to be like, hey, left, since left is an input still, as long as it's longer than that fifth of a second, it'll be like, okay, now you're facing left, which then increments speedTier, which we need to change. But okay, yeah. So where is our speed 1 through 5? Is that in our constants here? So these are the speeds, but we don't want anything but this max speed. So speed 5 will now be max speed. I'll turn these off for now. So if our max speed is 2.35, if our max speed is 2.35, then we need to figure out what 2.35 divided by 60 is. And then that'll be our frame increment for our speed ramp. I'm thinking we'll call our new variable that controls speed. Well, actually, isn't it just dx? It's just dx. Do we need to separate dx and this speed ramp? Or can we just modify dx with our inputs? I don't know. I guess for now, we'll just treat it as only dx. And then if it makes sense that we need another variable, then we can always add it. So now we've got max speed and I guess let's see what 2.35 divided by 60 is. Two 0.35 divided by 60. 0.0391. So maybe let me just write this down. 0.0392. So that's the amount we need to modify our dx by per frame to get us up to the max speed after 1 second. So I guess let's just start here. And we're going to say we don't need this frame tracker anymore. We don't need speedTier anymore. So then I guess maybe the move is to say find speedTier and just make sure we never reference it first. So this can all be if dx is greater, see. I think this is just, oh no. I already have if dx is greater than 0. So do I just take out this speedTier? SpeedTier is greater than 1. That means if I'm in speedTier 1. Okay. So this actually needs to be, this is our this is our good. My comment says ensures ostrich facing direction of dx. So it's saying, hey, if we're grounded and our speed tier is greater than 1, meaning 2 or above, which is the part that's kind of confusing me right now. 2 or above, and you're moving right, then set yourself facing right. If left is down, then skid. So this is the skid logic for when I'm going faster than a certain speed. So because if you're walking slow enough, putting the opposite direction input won't necessarily trigger a skid. It's only at a certain speed. So that certain speed was whatever speed tier 2 is. So we can say 0.7. If our dx is greater than 0.7, then we want to set ourselves facing right, which I don't know if that's even necessary. I mean, I implemented it for some reason to make sure I was facing the correct direction. But the 7, I think this just needs to be 0. Greater than 0, set it to right, and then if it's left and your dx is greater than that 0.7, then skid. Then if self dx is smaller than 0, negative number, then set the way it's facing, and then make this also making sure that self dx is smaller than, is that right? Greater than 0.7, meaning, yeah, smaller than 0.7 would be smaller than negative 0.7 is anything faster than that speed 2, that it used to be speed 2 in its left direction. Okay. So there's that. That's okay. Okay. So speed tier's gone. So we need to say if our dx is 0 and facing right and grounded, and I'm pretty sure this will turn and go left if stopped, because yeah, we need this to be is down. Because anytime we're incrementing speed tier, it needs to check for continuous input because we're modifying our dx. So self dx gets our current dx plus this 0.0392, which we should probably code that here as speed ramp or something. 0.0392. So now we can say speed ramp plus speed ramp. Okay. So we need this is down. And speedTier is, we need to check if the dx is less than our max speed now. And then if that's the case, we do our speed ramp. Stop when facing right can be the was pressed, not the is down, but it needs to be, shoot, instead of speedTier is 1, we need dx smaller than whatever our speedTier 1 was getting, which is 0.4. So the dx smaller than 0.4 is saying if we were anywhere from moving right up until moving right faster than our speedTier 1 was, then set our dx to 0 and stop us. Okay. Something about this tells me it's not going to work, but I really don't know. So skid flag, if it was pressed and you were facing right and your speedTier was greater than 1 and you were grounded, then skid. So was pressed is okay for this. We don't need the continuous input because skid will only get set once, and that'll slow our dx to a 0. So again, here we need to say greater than 1. So if it's greater than 0.4, our dx is greater than 0.4 and grounded. Okay. Then this is okay. Okay. So yeah, this is good that this is continuous input already, because we're saying, yeah, if we were going right and we're holding our left, we hold our left for longer than 1/5 of a second, we're not going to be, right? Oh, and I'm stopped. Yeah, okay. That's right. Pretty sure. So if our dx is 0, that means we're not moving. Then at that point, so yeah, that's the one that you test for the continuous input. Once you're skidding to the right, you'll slow down to a 0. You keep it held. Then after 1/5 of a second, once you're stopped, you'll start going left. And then Love.keyboard is down left, and speedTier is less than 5. Wait. Okay, so this is where most of the speed ramp logic is going to be, because this is like checking that you're left and you're grounded and you're already walking, but you're not yet at max speed. So your dx is less than your max speed, because if your dx is max speed, we don't want you incrementing your speed anymore. Now, this frame tracker bit is unnecessary, because we only needed frame tracker because we had five speed tiers, and we're saying every 1/5 of a second increment your speed tier, because over the course of 1 second it needs to increment 5 speed tiers. So we don't need frame tracker anymore. We just need to test for continuous input. If so, give us our dx plus our speed ramp on every frame, you know. We don't need this. We shouldn't need this. So I guess let's keep going, because part of me is like, okay, let's test if left is working again before we change all that. Well, maybe we should. Maybe we should toggle back on our speed tier and then see if our left input is working anywhere near what we should be doing. 106, classic mistake. Seld. Okay. Well, I'll tell ya, left did nothing. There's gotta be, oh, you know what? It's because all of this. So let's just continue with what we're doing, and we won't test it till we think it's gonna work. Because it's so much. So we've got our left inputs fixed, is that right? Because we did this. Okay. Okay, let's try it. Turn and go right if stopped. Well, this should be dx is 0. Was pressed. Turn and go right if stopped. Was pressed should be okay for that. Well, we need turn timer. Why? Oh, we're setting turn timer equal to 0 here. But we have turn timer. Okay. Did I have turn timer set to 0 on the left inputs? I did. Okay. Okay. So I just realized a mistake we had. If we're going right, we need to go self-dx plus speed ramp. But if we're going left, we need to go minus speed ramp. Okay. So self-dx gets current dx plus positive speed ramp when the right is pressed and you're stopped and you're not facing right and you're grounded. And I think this. So the difference between is down and was pressed is was pressed just checks it once. It's like if right was pressed on the last frame. But I think if we do is down, it shouldn't change it because, well, it shouldn't change it because that was pressed is okay because this is checking if self-dx is 0. On the frame it registers was pressed right. It'll give me a positive dx. Therefore, the very next frame, this was pressed will be false and it won't execute. So turn and go left, stopped. We can do this was pressed instead of is down for the same reasoning. And so yeah, if was pressed is right and we weren't selfing right, then we're facing right. Okay. So this is going to be if our dx is less than our max speed. And increment speedTier while already moving right. I think this needs to be is down. Let me see if the increment tier while already moving right is down. Yeah. This now is. I'll leave that for now just because. Just because it might be broken. Everything might be broken. So if right is down and our dx is not past max speed and we're grounded and we're facing right, then you give our dx a speed ramp increment every frame. If this was pressed and we were facing left and our speedTier, our dx is less than 0.4. I just realized I did the same thing on the other one. Or, yeah, on the stop when facing left, stop when facing right, this should be greater than -4. Right? Wait. Left was pressed, but we were facing right, and we were in our, yeah, so dx is greater than, yeah, -4. Let me think about that. Left is pressed and we're facing right. That isn't right. That'll stop us. that'll stop us. I think I need to say greater than -4, but smaller than 0. Or greater than -0.4 and smaller than 0. Yeah, self dx is greater than or smaller. Stops when facing right. Okay, let me do the facing left one first. Stops when. What the heck? Wait. So I'm going right, and my speedTier is greater than 0, or my dx is greater than 0, yet smaller than 0.4. Meaning I'm in my speedTier 1 speed range while I'm moving right. Then we're just gonna stop, we're not gonna skid. Right here I say if we're bigger than that 0.4, then we're gonna skid. So this one is gonna be right is pressed, and we're facing left, and we're grounded, and our self dx is greater than a -0.4, and our self dx smaller than 0. So we're moving left. It's in our left speedTier 1 range, anywhere from moving left at all up until that speedTier 1 range, at which point we'll set our dx to 0 because that's our break. When we're not, that's our break that isn't a skid. Because if it's greater than 0.4 here, well, it's negative, so wait. Right. Yeah. Let me make sure. Keep black. Wait. Okay, no, yeah, that's right. Because that would mean we're moving right faster than our speedTier 1. And left is pressed, then skid to true. Just like this one would be if right was pressed. And we're facing left. So we're moving left. And our speedTier is smaller than the -0.4. So we're in our above speedTier 1 moving left category or range. And we're grounded, then skid. Okay. Wait a second. I'm just comparing. Oh, it's because greater than 0. Okay. Just for consistency's sake, I'm gonna put the 0 first. So right is pressed, but our dx was negative, but it wasn't past speedTier 1 negative. Then we just stop. If our dx is bigger than, smaller than, in the left direction, smaller than the speedTier 1 range, meaning going faster, then we're going to skid. Okay. And then we can do was pressed for these two. And was pressed for this one. Okay. If keyboard is down right, speedTier is smaller than 5. So this is our, if our dx is smaller than our max speed. Oopsie. And we're grounded and we're facing right. Then our frame tracker is greater than 2, meaning right is held, yet we skidded to a stop and right is still held. Then we're gonna set our dx, wait a second. We're gonna set our dx to increment to the right. Self dx plus our speed ramp. Reset our frame tracker. We don't need this. Wait. Why would we not need that? I deleted it in the other one, didn't I? Frame tracker. Oh no. Grab speed up if right is held, so I'm looking for the left. Grab speed up if left is held. So the frame tracker deal, oh well, yeah, frame tracker is gone now, I forgot. Because the frame tracker was only for the speedTier increment, so we don't need that. And we don't need this. Is that right? Speed, yeah, we don't need to reset frame tracker because I don't even use it these days. Okay. So making sure my other one is the negative and this one is the positive. Left. See, look at left. Okay, left is down. This is not right either. We can do absolute value of that. Yeah, we only ever want to see if our dx is, wait just a second, and it's smaller. Okay, yeah. Because if we're moving left, our speedTier is always going to be smaller than max speed, but we want the absolute value. Okay. I could have sworn I saw another mistake. And I'm not seeing it anymore. Oh, right here. We need the math.abs. And math.abs is absolute value, in case you didn't pick up on that. And then so if dx is smaller. Okay, yeah, when our dx is positive, we don't need to do the absolute value. Holy crap. Almost there, guys, almost there. And then we can see how busted it is and then give up. Right is down. Self dx is smaller than your max speed. Then increment dx by the speed ramp positively. For dx is 0 and right is pressed. Okay. Okay, so this is where shoot, man, shoot, I have to go to the bathroom. Yeah, I have to go to the bathroom, sorry guys. It's like I had, like, as soon as I started recording, I realized it, and I was like, I'll just tough it out, but I don't want to tough it out. I'm gonna put some music on for y'all. How about that? Sorry, it's the same track. Okay, so we shouldn't need any of this shit anymore. Pardon my French. Any of this beautiful code I typed previously, we should not need it anymore. Because this is incrementing our speed tier. Or no, this is assigning speed tier values while we're grounded. So does that mean I don't think we need that. I don't think we need any of that anymore. But we do need to fix this. Well, if I fix this, I just mean remove that, I think. Updates player right velocity based on dx. Why? Oh, for skidding. Yeah, for skid stop, yeah. Okay. So yeah, we shouldn't need speedTier there anymore because it doesn't even do anything anymore. Okay. And then here, so this is where it's going to be tricky. Well, like tricky to get it right. If all of what we just did works, which I'd be really stoked about, if all of that works, this animation stuff is going to be jank because this value, the rate at which the animation timer gets changed, like the speed at which the sprites are changing is variable depending on speed, which is now our dx, when it used to be our speedTier. So it used to be speedTier divided by 12 and then added a 0.3, which gave us pretty good results. So maybe now we just say, if our dx is 0 and you're grounded, set your viewport to the first frame. Okay. All our speedTier is locked or linked to all of our sounds as well. That's okay. Let us I think I'm just going to calculate what our speedTier 1 FPS would have been and what our speedTier 5 FPS would have been to give us the range. And we know, yeah. Let me see. So 1 divided by 12 plus 0.3. And then we will need, wait, no. Just because our speedTier was 1, wait. Oh my gosh. I think we were assigning these values into the speedTier. So even though speedTier 1 is speedTier 1, that speedTier is actually right here. SpeedTier 1 is actually negative speed 1, which was this 0.4. So our FPS for our speedTier 1 should be 0.4 plus 0.3. So speedTier 1 is 0.7, while our max speed would have been 2.35 plus 0.3. So 2.65 on our FPS. Okay. So that's our range, 0.7. But we want it to be a bit slower because remember, our speedTier 1 wasn't as slow as the slowest one in the game. So maybe we want that to be 0.4 or 0.5. So So how do we say, well, can we, it's almost directly proportional to our dx, which is super nice, but it's not quite because, well, let's see, our first, dude, yeah, if our first, I think that's crazy because maybe the max speed needs to be a little higher. I mean, if we just link it to our dx, FPS to our dx, then our top speed will only be 2.35 when it used to be 2.65. So I don't know of a way, because we don't want to just add a 0.3 to it, because that would screw up our slow speed. But you know what? Maybe the animation cycle at 2.35 looks fast enough, because it's hard to say when I was testing it. You know, it was hard to say what was game accurate. Oh, I just realized that. Excuse me. If yeah, I should probably go check other functions for speedTier. Well, I guess the Lua will yell at me because speedTier is no longer. Let's just say FPS gets our DX, which is wild that it's almost the same. And then if the top end is too slow, we can figure out another little formula. So now, I mean, that's perfect too, because we want our FPS to be in relation to our velocity. So it makes perfect sense. If our DX, oh, see, you know what? On stuff like this, so like if I'm moving left or right, previously when I was doing speedTier logic, then my speedTier would be 1. So anytime I have logic like this saying, oh, if speedTier greater than 0, sometimes I'm saying if I'm moving, or a lot of the times I'm saying if I'm moving. Because, okay. I say that because if I'm just replacing every speed.tier with dx, which is like kind of what I've been doing, then that's not the same. Like now, if my negative direction, if my dx was negative and I just changed that, it wouldn't execute. Wait. How do you do not equals in Lua? Wait, really? They don't have a not equals? They don't have a bang equals? Is that what it's called with the exclamation? Okay, no, they do. It's just tilde equals, not a bang equals. I think that's what it's called, right? Tilde. And then that's also screwy because now the 1 equals is an equality operator, not an assignment operator, because the tilde is the not equals. Whatever. A little confusing. I guess I'm curious if I screwed up anything by just changing speedTier to dx. That's gonna be, I guess we'll figure it out when everything's busted, right? This is probably the biggest refactoring job I've had to try to do so far. Not saying much, but like, I was very hesitant to start this because I was just very, I was just thinking I wasn't going to be able to pull it off. And then it just gets discouraging when everything breaks. Like everything was so close to being great. It was just the little tiniest short of being accurate. And then, you know, if I break it all, it just can be frustrating. I think this needs to be math.abs because we don't want a negative FPS. See, like little stuff like that. Like if I just missed that, then my logic could be sound above, but my since FPS controls my render for my player, then I could have been thinking everything was wrong when just one thing in the animation setup was wrong, you know? So it's not easy. So we're saying if our dx is not 0, meaning we're moving and we're grounded, then do your animation logic. Otherwise, if we're not moving right here, you know, we're not moving, then you're on your standing first frame. Okay. Okay. This is not so fun, but it's got to be done. We're saying if our dx... See, and this is tricky too, because now that we don't have speedTier, we need to check what speed we're moving at. So maybe we say if speedTier, or if dx is 0, do the stops. That's pretty self-explanatory. But if our self dx, if the absolute value of our self dx is greater than, the absolute value of our dx is greater than the value of our speed 1, which was 0.4, then 0.7, then so if the math.abs of our dx is greater than 0.4, then we're in our speed 1. Our speed 1 sound. Yep. Then we would need to do our speed 2 sound, which is greater than 0.7. Then we need our And then remember our top speed was now, oh no, for the animation. Never mind. We'll keep going with this. 1.2 for speedTier 3. Did I just say 1.2? Okay, 1.75 for this one. And speedTier 5 power 2.35. Okay. I guess we just cross our fingers and pray. $58-bit argument. Remember I said we need to go through all our functions and get rid of speedTier? I did not do that. And then I said Lua will yell at us, which it did. Ah, you're kidding me. You're kidding me. Okay. Okay. Couple problems. Dude, the good news is, so the FPS is jank, but the beginning of it was perfect. Like the slow walk, that's exactly what I was hoping to get, because speedTier 1 wasn't giving us that slow of a walk. And then if we so it's like now we can tap it like as little as possible. Well, it's hard to tap it as little as possible, but so little as possible, slow walk. Little as possible, a little bit faster walk. But you know, that needs to be slower, because if you look at his top speed is just, I mean, it just ramps up too fast. Like its max animation speed is probably at the speedTier 3 edging to 4 range, when it should be only at the end of, you know, speedTier 5 or whatever it was. But the slow, it works. That's so refreshing. That's so cool. You know, it needs to be maybe a little faster than that. Well, and then the skidding is working right, as well as the turning and going. Oh, that's so fun. Whoa, look at his leg disappeared there. What the heck? That was weird. Oh no. Oh no. How do you fix that? That's pretty sick though, gotta admit. Okay. What do we fix first? The animation? And then worry about the input logic that's busted? Maybe? That's really refreshing. That it at least, you know, mostly worked. We don't have sound for when we're under the speed tier 1 range, which is my bad. Shouldn't be. I mean, all of this is my bad. Everything that messes up in this is my bad. Yeah, this is gonna be. This should be. Yeah, these should all be smaller than. Well, yeah, see, so this is where, like, I feel like we need these all need to be else if statements. Unless I put in parentheses the range. So, like, gotta say absolute value of dx is greater than 4. Well, it needs to be greater than. This is all messed up. This is all messed up. Basically, any speed up to 4, up to 0.4. So I was onto something, but it wasn't quite right. Okay, yeah. So it needs to, wait, up to 4. So, yeah, it needs to be greater than 0. And I wish, like in Python, you can do a sandwiched statement, like saying just for an example, like, or, you know, just as an example, in Python you could do something like that, which is nice and clean, because you say, like, you know, that math.abs is greater than 1 but smaller than 2 or something like that, you know. But in Lua we're not able to do that, so we have to say, we have to give it 2 and say, hey, you're going to be greater than 0 and you're going to be less than 0.4 and grounded, then you're going to do your speed 1 play. And then these are the 2 ranges. So this is like 0.7 is the high range, smaller than 0.7 but bigger than your 0.4. And then I guess there's a little bug. Maybe I'll say greater than or equal to 4, because if it is exactly 0.4, no sounds would play, because this one would be false and the next one would be false. So we'll do that up to 0.7. Then we need to do greater than 0.7 but smaller than, what's the number I just deleted, 1.2? That's speed 3. Yeah. Then 1.75 is our new high end. 1.75. And then 1.2. And then 235 is our new maximum. And 1.75 greater than or equal to 1.75 but smaller than, or 2. Was it 35? 2.25. Okay. Excuse me. It's like we need to scale our animation sounds on the DX as well, but how would you even do that? Because that was the sound of our first speedTier 1, which used to look something like that. Which, you know, no way. Look how slow that's going. That's so cool. I've managed to get only a negative 4dx, which is hard to replicate. But that was so slow, that was sick. I don't know how to fix that one, but and I'm slowing, look at that. Okay, well, you know, I think it's a net success because the frame animation is now scaled to the DX. We got rid of speedTier, which is more game accurate because you can move slower or faster depending how long you hold it, not necessarily tapping 5 times to get you to the max speedTier, which is what I initially thought. So we still gotta fix. We gotta fix that skidding. And maybe fixing that skidding logic will fix all of those footstep sounds upon skidding. But also, like, if skidding is true, I thought. Oh yeah, see this. So we have to also say and not skidding, because if we're skidding, we're not going to be playing any sounds. So, and not self.skid. Well, we're not going to be playing any footstep sounds, I should say, and not self-skid. And then so oh, well, no. I don't get why that would be happening now. So holding right, then I keep right held and hold left, and that makes me skid. So maybe, okay, so maybe we just say if right is held and not self-skidding, increment your DX, only if you're not skidding. And then same with the left, where we'll say it should, oh my god, it should be here, increment speedTier when already moving left. So is this where we say and not skidding? But there's also this one, which is kind of the skid flag, or the turn after done skidding. So yeah, maybe we just say right here and not self-skid. I already. So maybe we do that for the right as well. Oh, it's under increment speed tier while already moving left. Right here. And not self-skid. This is crazy though. It's like, should I really, or because I'm just saying like how many conditions here. Right is held, and your DX is not max speed, and you're grounded, and you're facing right, and you're not skidding. You know? Let me see if just that stops that infinite skid. I mean, that makes sense, but it makes sense why it's doing that. I just don't know what to do to fix it. Let me see in here if I do that same kind of jankness. So it's like, oh yeah. See, it's like, we own, it's like, if more than one key's held down, we only wanna read the last input. But I don't know what that means in terms of implementation. I mean, I remember that we fixed this, but I don't remember how. And it was based on speedTier. Oh, I think it was. How do we do that? Because what's happening is I'm moving right. And then since right is held, that's weird. That's weird, it just switched. I've been holding them both down. So what's happening there? I'm holding right, so it's trying to increment right DX, but I'm holding left, so it's saying that you got a skid. So maybe in our skid true logic, let me see. Shoot. So maybe I only do this. Let me see this. Make ostrich. Oh, this is wrong. Maybe this logic needs to be nested. Oh, no. How do we make only one input, the last input? Execute. So if left is held, so the problem is I hold right and then I hold left. It should just turn my DX left, but instead it's continuing to increase my dx, and then the left is counteracting that with its own negative dx, or with the skid logic, which is slowing its dx. But since it's still incrementing, so where is that? Like, because the problem is, I'm pretty sure the problem is this one is executing because I'm holding down right. Oh, see, so no, yeah, I added the not self skid, so maybe I just need to add another not self skid on this one too. Like, only increment if you're not skidding, you know. Oopsie. And not self skid. And not self skid. So on any DX speed ramp, also check if we're skidding. So that covers the right. Oh, that's just is down. I mean, here too, right? Then and not self skid, got that one. And we need this one. And then where was that third one I added for the right? Ramp speed up if right is held. Where's this ramp speed up if left is held? Oh, you know what? Did I took that out of the left one, right? Ramp speed up. So is there any? I think that one might be screwing us. And then, oh no. Ramp speed up if left is held, ramp speed up if right is held. So maybe not. I was thinking we took the left one out. So let's add and not self skid to this left input and see if that fixes it. Oh, see, look at that. That's messed up. That's messed up. We need to fix that. Shoot, man, shoot. I'm going to take out these and then use logic instead of just pasting a bunch of booleans and hoping it fixes our problem. But I think the problem is like maybe, okay, so it's tricky because I was thinking if we put it in an else if loop, only one of those can go at once, but that would mean the order of operations. Because if left starts held down, but then we press right, and that code's after this, it'll just continue going left, and it'll never end up going right. So we only want to. So the problem is when we're holding down both of them, this one is giving it a negative dx, and then this one is giving it a positive dx. And they're both fighting one another. Well, I think it's even more complicated than that because skidding is getting set to true. So that means the skid flag, where's our skid is true? Here, no. Wait, where's our skid gets true? Really? Am I crazy? Right there. So we're saying if left was pressed and we're facing right and self dx is greater than 4 and self.grounded, skid gets true. But maybe we only do that if, well, no. Then same with this one. If it's moving left and we're grounded and right was pressed. See, so like the is down doesn't really help us here because it just doesn't help us because skid is getting set to true anyway if we held right for a frame after that. We don't need to set skid to equal to true again, we just did it once. So yeah, how do we, because if you like hold left then hold right, it should go right dx. But then if you hold right then hold left, it should go left dx. So like how do we do that? Do we add an extra case saying if right is down and left is down, then swap its dx? Because that would mean the last input is the opposite of the dx. So if 2 are held down, then swap its current dx. Does that make sense? I have no idea how they must have programmed this on little arcade machines or whatever, on Atari or however they did it. I have no idea. Okay, so I think I want to say if our dx is positive and both of these are held, then we want to just, oh shoot, well, no, that might work, because I'm saying if self dx is positive, and then in here I'm saying self dx gets, so if it's, oh, I just times it by -1, so that it'll negativify it if it's positive, and positify it if it's negative. Basically just reverse whatever its dx is, if both of those are held. And then I need to say if self dx is greater than 0, is that right? If it's moving right, then move it left, and if it's moving left and both of those are pressed, then do the same operation, which will swap it. Maybe. I have no idea. See, right now I'm holding left and he's moving right. Oh my god, oh my god. Well, it's been fun. I think I'm gonna scrub through my old stream and see when I fixed that and see what I did. I can't remember what I did. I think I think this is that logic. It's down. Because this does two things. Wait. All this does is change the way I'm facing. If I'm stopped and a keyboard is down. So if I'm stopped, see, I don't even know how to debug this or how to see what code is being executed. I really don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know. It's close. If you play it nicely, it cooperates. But it's when you, oh, what the heck? It's when you hold more than one input. And it slows down. That's a weird thing. DX is getting slowly skid. So I guess it's like, why is skid not going to 0 as fast as it should be? So I'm saying, if you're moving right, and you're skidding, then set your dx to your current dx minus 0.08, which should slow you to it. And then give your x your current x, update your x based on your dx. So why would that be slower? Why would my dx why would my dx, so if my dx is 2.35, it slows to a stop at a certain rate of minus 0.08 per frame. But if I hold two directions, okay, well that's weird. If I hold right, then hold left, I do this skid stop, and then he just turned for some reason. But if I go left, he's just like in a permanent slow increment of your dx. But this one is like, I don't know why they're different. Might have something to do with something. I can tell you that much. Oh, here. Might have something to do with that. Yeah. So that one line almost fixed that problem. And that line was to check if you were skidding. Oh, you know what? So if right is down, I think dx is smaller than, do we want to see if dx, dx is greater than 0 and smaller than max speed and not skidding. Then you increment your right. So it's like, if I'm moving right, wait. No. Actually, oops. No, we do want, yeah, we do want that to be in smaller than or equal to. So let me do this same logic, or the same appropriate logic on the ramp left speed if left is held. Oh, see, look, I did this, yeah. Max, so greater than or equal to. But we also want to say it's smaller than 0. gotta be less than your max speed, and your dx has got to be smaller than 0, meaning you're moving left, and not skidding. So I really don't know. Because at least that line, at least the and not self.skid, stops us from skidding permanently, but it doesn't. What needs to happen if we're going right and left is held is, and we keep holding right. Oh, shit, that's what it gets confusing, man. Because if you're still holding right, it's like, how do we check for only one input at a time, you know? Or like only the last input? I'm kind of curious if I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. So it's like half a success, right? We fixed one thing and we broke another, which is like tale as old as time. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure I might have had some speedTier logic that helped fix that problem in the past. But I don't know. I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna watch my older stream when I fixed that problem earlier and see if I can't learn anything from when I implemented that. It's like what's screwing us is that both lines of codes are executing, I'm pretty sure, that when it's down. And you know what? Yeah, my reasoning was we need to back when we fixed it, it was like we need to add enough conditions to our is down so that it only executes when we want it to. So, but then how do you, if right is down and then we hold left and left is down, then how do we say, or maybe we say, maybe we do, so this looks, let me think. Let me go. So So this is the first instance of left is down. So if left was pressed and we're 0 and we were facing right and grounded, then face left. Okay. Else if left is down. See, so do we say no. That's the tricky thing is like we can't just say if left is down and right is down, do something, because that'll only happen if both are held. But if both are held, it needs to do something different based on what direction it's facing. Don't know what to do. I really don't know what to do. Because one thing that's still confusing to me is that any time left is held, no matter what, eventually my dx should be negative. So if I'm going to the right fast and I hold it, yeah, it turns to skid, it slows to a stop, and then it goes left. But I'm getting some issues where if I am going right, holding right, then I hold left, it does its little skid thing. But then if I let go of right, sometimes he just keeps going right when left is held. But if left is down, we should be getting the negative speed ramp, and I don't get why that's not the case. So yeah, if left is down while I'm this actually doesn't help me. Because I need to make sure dx is negative. So self dx has got to be smaller than 0 and absolute value of self dx is smaller than max speed. So what about my right logic? Self dx. Didn't I already try this? Self dx has got to be bigger than 0, meaning moving right, but it's also got to be smaller than or equal to max speed. But this one too. Wait, does this overwrite anything? Why, this is like the same. No. This is saying if I'm facing left and I'm not skidding. Gosh, see, something over here is getting overwritten. Or sure our self dx is smaller than 0 and our absolute value is not greater than max speed. And then and not self-skid. No. Take that out of here. See, I guess my confusion is I've got a ramp, right? Oh, come on. What is that option? How edge is it? So I've got increment speedTier while already moving left. And then a ramp speed up if left is held. And I have to be grounded and I have to be facing left anyway, so why am I doing this twice? Am I doing the right one twice? Ramp speed, already moving right, and then I have a ramp speed if right is held. So the thing is, I have it outside of the if else statement, but maybe that's what's screwing me. I don't know if that was my fix or what, but this is the same code. So maybe we just see what disabling this redundant bit gets us, because there's a reason I added it, but doesn't mean it's not useless. I'm holding both directions there. So right now, it only goes in the direction that I'm not currently facing. Like if I'm facing left, I can't go left. If it's facing right and stopped, I can't go right. So it's like I had this to be like, hey, default to incrementing dx to the right if right is held, and default to making it smaller. 96. Well. I'm not even turning right now. I'm stopped. I don't know why that would have broken. I feel like I just need to kind of redo some of this and get it right. Why does my right isn't even going right? Why? Dx was 0. So that one wouldn't have. But this one would. No. Greater than or equal to 0. That would overwrite some stuff. Great. I feel like I'm just breaking it more at this point. That's so confusing to me that dx would be a number that gets smaller at a different rate. Dx, well, like once I'm skidding, oh, you know what? Well, it's because dx, I feel like dx is being incremented by my right, and then it's being decremented by my left. Yeah. So I need to what do I need to do? Do I need to say keyboard left is down and dx is bigger than 7, then skip to true. And then, so where's my skip logic again? How do I do that? I always seem to not find that here. So if I'm moving right and I'm not skidding, update my dx. If I'm moving right and skidding, then yeah, so it's like and left is not held or something, like no, because we still need to, yeah, we need to slow to a stop, but we need to not increment our dx if we're skidding. we need to not increment our dx if we're skidding. So we need to not increment our dx if we're skidding. Or decrement our. So I want to say this is like unnecessary. Well, if I take that out, do I go past? Yep. Well, that's pretty dope though. Okay. That's sick. So we do need that. But we need to not decrement it if we're skidding. No. Shoot. If left is pressed and we're facing left, then we need to not decrement our dx if we're skidding. The other time we decrement our speed when left is down is when we're grounded and we're facing left, which we need to not decrement our dx if we're skidding again, because dx, like, we take care of shifting the dx already. So we need to, like, if the skid flag is true, so if we're skidding, don't update your dx for basically all these, right? Oh, this needs to be not, yeah. Because if we're skidding, then we don't want to do it. But if we're not skidding, we want to increment it. Okay. And then if right was pressed and dx is 0, that's fine. Right here, if dx is greater than 0, we need our clamp here, I think. Let me make sure my right skid just keeps going faster and faster. Yep. Self dx greater than 0 and self dx smaller than or equal to max speed. And not skidding. Okay. And then okay. Because if we are skidding and our dx is positive, then we're going to shift it. So maybe that'll fix our infinite skidding. See, look, I'm holding left and he's moving right, which is just baffling to me. Because if I'm holding left and dx is positive, would dx be positive if I'm holding left band? I can't even recreate it all the time. I don't know, man. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. I'm just gonna say git commit trying to fix skid loop. I really don't know. I'm gonna have to just look over that code and decide what's wrong, you know. But anyways, we got, say, half a success today. I mean, any amount of programming is a success in a day, so we're doing okay. Thanks for watching. Hopefully we'll figure this out soon.